This here is one of the best stocks I've ever bought, and it is by my favorite maker of stocks and furniture for guns, and that is Archangel. I own a lot of their stuff. They've never let me down, and they've been the best company. I love their products, and if you want to see some of my other Archangel products, click on this video right here. I actually went over this rifle a little bit back then, but I don't think I gave it enough time, the time it deserves for me to do an actual good review, show you all the features, some close-ups, and tell you why you want one of these on your M14 or your M1A. First thing I'll do is just show you that this is unloaded while I'm flinging it around here. I just left the magazine in it because I think it actually looks better with the big bad box magazine in there. It's you know, it's pretty cool looking. And I mean, that's the first thing I'm gonna start off with. I mean, look at this gun. Isn't that's just one of the meanest looking black rifles out there. That stock, you know, it's got very sharp lines on it, very definite. You got some great contrast between the tan and the gray off the gunmetal. You can actually get these in a black and I think an olive green too. So, you know, if you want, there's some variation in colors and finishes there, which is nice too. It costs right around $300 depending on where you get them. I think Canada Ammo is actually selling them for $2.99 right now, and you know, it's just it's an awesome piece. They're made out of a carbon reinforced polymer, which means it is sturdy and hard, and you can bang and beat on this thing and you're not gonna break it. I don't even think it's that easy to scratch. This thing is rock solid. Surprisingly, for how rugged it's made, it's fairly lightweight. The stock by itself only weighs a little over 4 pounds, but of course by the time you put your receiver and barrel and full magazine and everything else in there, it gets a little heavy. But that's why they use the carbon reinforced polymer, because that will actually lighten up the gun quite a bit. The gun has lots of great features on it. We'll start on the back end here where you can see this really nice rubber butt pad, which is very comfortable. It also has this cheek riser on the back, and both of them are adjustable with these little knobs on the bottom that give you a nice loud click when you move them. That way it feels like you know how many spots you're moving them back and forth. And these things can actually be adjusted quite a ways in both directions. I'm not going to take it out all the way, but I think it comes out a good couple inches for both of them. On the back end here too, you also get this little compartment on the bottom. You know, everything has the Archangel symbol all over it. It's on the back of the gun. It's underneath on the trap door here. Just pop that open. It's not a very big compartment. I'm not really sure what you keep in there. To each their own, you know, whatever you keep in there, that's fine. I don't need to know. But it's nice to have there if you do want to keep some tools or notes or anything. That's pretty great. So, I mean, from here back, everything is awesome. Moving up the gun to the grip, which fits your hand oh so nicely. It actually has this contoured palm swell on it, which that's the way every gun should feel in your hand. It just feels every single crack is filled, and it's just the right way for your hand to be on there. The only thing I wish they would have done is maybe add some different texture to the grip. It is kind of slippery, even though it fits the hand nice. It would have been good to have some texture there. They also have this fairly rugged seam going down the back where the two pieces meet, and you can certainly feel that on the back. So the texture could have been a little bit different, but man, it fits so nice, you know, when you're going to get your grip, and it just feels like, you know, that's exactly the way your hand should be on the back of the gun. Other than that, you know, it does have some texture in places that it doesn't matter so much, like along the side. Up here where you actually have the grip, it's nice because it does fit your fingers in there, and you do actually get a little better grip hanging on to the fore end of the gun. It also has this really nice rail cover down on the bottom. Now this is actually removable, and you know, this has some good texture on it again, and the Archangel symbol's all over this gun everywhere. Now this thing's on there really solid, but you can just click it up and slide it off. Ta-da! And underneath you'll find this really nice rail. So if you want to put your bipod on the end, or a flashlight, or whatever you want, that's built right into the gun. There's no screws, and once again, that is that carbon reinforced polymer, so you know it's not going to break off, and it's a very, very solid put together piece. It also has these metal sling swivels on the front and on the back, so if you want to get your carry sling out, you can certainly put that on there. These are made of metal, which is great. That way, you know, the little plasticky ones won't snap off. And I mean, there's a lot of thought that went into this thing, making it the right way, so it's very functional. And if you're into M14s and M1As and you've looked for stocks, some of the high-end ones, like I know Troy Industries is a big one. There's a couple others that are like $1,000, $1,200, $2,000 sometimes, just for the furniture for the gun. So to get something that's this functional and this well made for a fraction of the price is certainly well worth your money. You know, a lot of times you take a knock in quality when you buy cheap things, but not with this stuff, and not with Archangel. I can tell you without a doubt, Archangel is one of the best companies out there when it comes to gun furniture. I haven't had any problems with their equipment yet, and I still, every time I have one of their products, I just go on about how much I love it. This one is no exception. Now, as far as fitting the gun, it was a little snug when I first got it, and it took a little bit of working before I could actually drop the receiver down in. It was very tight. I've read that some people have actually cut a little bit or shaved down with a file some of the plastic. I'll just show you how easy the thing comes out. Take the trigger out of the bottom, and then the whole thing just pops right out of the top. So that's pretty sweet. It just sits down in. Like I said, it was fairly snug and it took a little bit of working, but really once you get it in and out of there a couple times, it's just no problem at all. So there's the whole piece by itself right there, and like I said, it's fairly lightweight when it's just by itself. A little bit heavy in the back, but that adds to the balance of the gun, because when the weight's all up front, it just evens everything out very, very nicely. You can see it has like this nice ribbed sort of frame to it, which adds for, once again, how solid and durable it is. And you can see it's fairly thick all throughout the gun. It's a nice thick amount of polymer, so it's not going to break anytime soon. Sometimes these stocks, where the magazine goes, can sometimes be a bit snug. I know, especially on my SKS, it takes a little bit of working to get some of those magazines up in the stock and up in the gun. This here actually has a little bit of a slope, a smooth sloped angle to help you get the magazine into the right place and click it in. And you got lots of clearance in there, and it just fits so easily and smoothly. You really don't have to think about it, even with these Rock and Lock box mags. Now, I know $300 sounds like a lot of money for a stock, and it is a lot of money, but when you look at what else is out there that are in the $1,000, $2,000 range, the bang for your buck that you get with this piece is just unbelievable. It is so good, and it is more expensive than a lot of the other Archangel stocks out there, but it's just competitive in the price market, and I think this one actually has a lot more time and parts built into it, and just the look, the functionality, how easy it is to install. I mean, everything about it is great, and there's not one thing I can really fault about it. So if you're on the fence about getting one of these, don't be on the fence anymore. Jump off. Go get one of these things.